How King doing?
He doing real good. He doing real good. And we are live. Uh-oh. Oh man, they didn't trip. And let us get together. The
Back together.
squad is back together. Oh man. Dr. Prince, what's up?
What's going on with you,
Nothing, man. Nothing. Trying to make sure that all our stuff public, so public and not, you know what I'm saying? Everybody need to hear this.
bro? Are you got all this technology going on here? You
Look,
know, talking to the people.
I've been trying to figure it out. You know, COVID got you having to figure it all out.
Pivot in many different directions, much like the young people that we serve and the communities that we serve. Much
Facts,
like that.
facts. I wanted to. So for one, every time every time I do lives and we do these interviews, I got this little part I kick off where I say, you know what? We always talk about giving people their flowers. So I'm gonna give you your flowers. Don't be crying. Don't start crying and all that. But nah, a lot of people don't know. We're gonna get into a little bit of that, but just how dope you are and how much you are appreciated for all the work that you still continue to put in. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, don't nobody know, I know, and I'm extremely proud of you. You know, we built different, so you know they can't. We know how that go, but I'm especially proud of you. I learned a lot from you. A lot of my where I used to come in without as much structure. Like, look, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Where my notebook at? It ain't around Dr. Prince. The reason why I make lists in the morning. She used to
You
be
know
like, just
that.
make a list. Make a list and check it out. That's how you do. Make your list, check it out. You be straight. You just mark it off. And it was something therapeutic just about like making a list and then accomplishing something. And you look at the day and oh yo, we used to get so excited, boy, just all the stuff that's crossed off the list. And so I just wanted to make sure I give you that, while everybody's watching so they know just how amazing you are and how like we met making something out of nothing.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like taking the scraps that they was giving us and taking programs where they say, oh, you only, we 140 some people. We have 300 people in the program, and they trying to figure out how you did it.
Mhm.
And that was all. That was all you. That was
It
all
was
you. That
all
was all
us.
under your
We
direction.
made it out the mud.
Real talk. Real talk. We got Vanessa. You see the comments? Did you get to see the comments that
Hey,
pop up?
Vanessa. I love Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa is another one. Move her and shake. I want to be just like her. I love
Hey,
Vanessa.
Vanessa, the truth.
She
Yeah,
the
Vanessa, the
truth.
truth. We got everybody. We got Senator Nasheed on here. We got Carlos Ball.
We're executive liaison, baby. The executive liaison played no
AKA
games.
AKA
Listen,
driver,
I
delivery
remember.
man.
I remember one time we was at a town hall meeting, and it was me. I was up there with the mayor, and I had the executive liaison and the whole team. You know, they come out, they dressed in black. We at the meeting, people mad, they rah, and then the lights go out. Next thing you know, liaison jump in front of me, June, everybody, they usher me out the back door. But then the lights come back on. And the mayor was like, well, why was they going to take you? I was like, oh, they had a plan B to get me out, a contingency plan.
I ain't gonna leave the mayor there. You by yourself, baby.
It was so funny. Then she was like, what? My team Esley was so thorough.
You
So
hear me?
thorough. I love it. You know, they just care about the community in which we were just tasked to represent, and it was like by any means necessary. And most people did not understand that,
Hmm.
because we are from the community in which we serve, so we know what we need. We knew that we needed banking accounts without parental consent. We knew that. We knew
Hmm.
that we wanted them to have real checking accounts and savings accounts without those debit cards and payday loan lenders and things like that. Like, we knew the trap of that. We knew that. We knew that we needed to be able to educate people inside of jail and outside of jail, and start giving them preparation inside of jail so that they can get a job. But we also knew at those programs we needed to start ordering social security cards, uh, state IDs, and things of that nature. Like, we knew that. Remember, every youth that went to our program, we had to make sure that they were registered to vote. Not telling them who to vote for, but exercising their civic duty to vote. It
Hmm.
was just, I mean, like, workforce and education programs were in us, and they still are.
They
We're
still
just
are.
not doing it like that. Like,
Hmm.
we still empowering the community. We just doing it a little different. I
Yeah.
remember coming back from a conference and saying, "Oh no, we gotta open a 24-hour high school." And I remember then they thought I was crazy. Like, really, 24-hour high school? I'm like, yeah, everything needs to be virtual, but we need to have mentors and 24-hour tutors along with that. And look at the world now. Just think if that one program would have been scaled, these young people would have not just been on their own to have to figure it out virtually, but they would have these education mentors right there by themselves. The Shalandas, that was just the
Hmm.
coldest person in math. Didn't care she had a purple afro.
In
She could
fact.
teach math to anybody, and she could help them through it. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Nah, that's real. That's
Mhm.
real. And if you take it back to the beginning, because me and look, this is what people don't know. Me and Dr. Prince like close, right? Like,
Mhm.
we don't get no closer.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so when you get close, and we're gonna keep it real, you bump heads.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
both so strong, and look, I ain't gonna never forget. I was like, look, let's do this program with the circuit attorney. Dr. Prince was like, huh?
It was not Kim Gardner at the
It wasn't
time.
Kim Gordon, it
It
was
was not.
Jennifer
Let's be
Joyce.
clear.
It
I'm
was
like, I don't
Jennifer
like the
Joyce.
police, the circuit attorney. What? No, I don't do police, and I don't do the circuit attorney. That whole face, I gave that ugly
Look,
turn. Mm-mm.
and all I said was, just trust me.
He
Look,
did.
I got it. We ain't, cause I ain't going. I'm a ride, but we gonna do what we got to do. And man, Doc, she built that program, and we moved. You know what I'm saying? We made them folks do what it do, and we our young people out, because a lot of people don't know that office is the reason why I met you. Because I
Yeah.
went over there to meet with Pippa,
Mhm. Mhm.
and she was like, "Hey, do you know Slate?" And I was like, "Slate? You talking about when we be sweeping and make $200 every other week, like Operation Brightside Slate?" She's like, "Oh, no, it's came a long way since." I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know." So they brought me over there and met the first director. And, nah, I'm cool on that. And they was like, "Well, you gotta meet Dr. Prince." I was like, "All right, well, let me go meet Dr. Prince, because I'm out of here." And I walked in there, and boy, the whole room just lit up, like it was just life in the room. She's like, "So what you doing? What you got going?" And I told her about 28 to Life, and Dr. Prince was like, "Well, you got some jobs?" I'm like, "I got jobs." I was like, "You got jobs? I got young people." He was like, bring me about 40, 50 young people." 60. We need 50,
Mhm.
60. Before you knew it, we done employed hundreds of youth in that much time.
Mhm.
And from that point on, that's when Prison Prosperity was starting, and all these different things. And we got in there, and you was like, "All right, this is how we gonna run it. This how I need to go." I'm like, "I bet. Well, I could do the facilitation." And we started. getting the guests in, and it was like you talk about meeting folks where they at and changing and saving lives in real time. Like
Hmm.
that's what we did.
We
You
did.
know?
Remember when you got the chief of police to come inside the prison? And everybody was like, oh my God. And people really began to build those bridges because I too had to let go of my guard and build those bridges. But this is another defining factor in that program with Jennifer Joyce. And shouts out to Jennifer Joyce, the circuit attorney, and building that relationship with the court system. Remember, we used to come in and advocate for our young people who was in front of a judge. And I remember Judge Michael Noble, and he had his Superman cup
Man,
like
Cup.
you. And he was like, no, they working with the slate program, no problem. They in the judge's order, they ordered them to go to slate to get a job, to get into a program. And
Hmm.
those kinds of programs really help people in general because it ends the cyclical dependency theory. It ends the cycle of poverty. And because the programs were always coupled with some type of diversion. Oh, and if you have a warrant, let us check that. Oh, and if you need mental health, let us talk about the mental health. Oh, if you need this, oh, if you need that, it really helps. I see this, and I see Seven just logged down. Seven, we was just talking about you. We said you and your purple hair and you being a math tutor and have those kids on a Friday and Saturday night. They did not want to be in the club. They wanted to be up at Slate
Fact.
and in them classrooms with you. That's what they don't understand.
Straight
It was
up.
something special. You was a special ingredient. You was our secret sauce, Seven.
Uh-huh. And you know what I think about? Everything we did was innovative.
Hmm.
Everything we did, folks said we couldn't do. We
Hmm.
had pushback,
Hmm.
all of that, right?
Hmm.
We bought ranking inside of the workhouse.
Rank
A
it
car?
inside. Rank it inside of the workhouse. A whole college.
They
Yeah.
got tools.
They got tools inside of a jail.
And not only that, it
Mhm.
got to the point where if you was in prison of prosperity and you was making this change and you were doing all these things, you basically had a camp. You had a separate quarters.
Mhm. Remember, we
Like,
was trying to think about how to get the car in there and start building on that
mm-hmm.
program. And it was
Yeah.
a good program because it dealt with local municipality versus fed and state. And not a lot of programs around the country has that infrastructure to deal with local municipalities. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what made Prison to Prosperity so important. And what I like to say is that we was a program of second, third, and fourth chances. Remember our student that was doing the right thing, but still made a mistake and got back in jail. And our one of our best education mentors, Seven, went in there, you know, inside of jail to make sure that this girl graduated. And then she got out, but went back to jail, and we had that graduation ceremony inside of
In
jail.
jail. In jail. One of the
So
best
that
graduation
because she said
ceremonies
she
I've ever
wanted
been to.
what was her cell block 3? She
Yeah,
wanted cell block
she
3.
wanted all of them there.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna
yeah.
never, man. You talk about where we are, I'm gonna be real as far as number wise, right? And be real about you. You think about the climate.
Hmm.
We love our city,
Love it.
and we've only tried to show that.
Hmm. Hmm.
St. Louis murder rate, crime rate right now is through the roof.
It is.
Dr. Prince, I tell people this. I said, you tell me what's changed in the last 2 years. We got the same politicians.
Hmm.
We got the same mayor. We got the same administration. We got all these same things.
Hmm.
What's changed? Us.
Hmm.
And that's the real.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you talk about, we were always about root causes. We were always about root causes. We were always about, look, y'all could talk all y'all want, but we trying to create, like Dr. Prince gave me this, and I took it and ran with it, boy. When she taught me about, you know what, we got to create a new normal. I was like, at first she said, and I was like, I kind of went off for a couple of days, and then it hit me, and I remember coming back like creating a new normal. Like that's it. She's like, yeah, I know. That's what I've been trying to tell you. Because when we had these young people, when we had our young folks, it wasn't even just about the young folks. We getting the mamas, the aunties, the brothers, the having
what daddy coming home from jail? How can we say? Remember when I was excited when I first got my first jail letter? I was like, oh, I'm legit now. I'm crazy. When you start getting jail letters, come on now, come on somebody. Y'all know when you start getting jail letters and they like, oh, I'm coming home and I need a job. I was through them. I was like, I got my first jail letter, you know. No, remember Brandon Bosley, Alderman Bosley, when he brought that big bus down from his ward, that bi-state bus, and he brought 40 people down from
the third
his ward for Workforce Wednesday.
Yeah, for third.
Remember, people was getting jobs on the spot. I remember this homeless lady, and she just cried in our arms when she got hired at the Hilton right on the spot.
Yep. Remember, you talk about a place. The first job fair that we did together, we did an online job fair on Cherokee.
Sure did.
We did an online job fair on Cherokee.
Yeah.
Line was through the door. We had the laptops set up. We did a satellite before they even had satellite offices.
Yeah.
We did a satellite job fair.
We turned the bar into a job fair.
We turned the bar into a job fair. And people got hired. Like they always got hired because the jobs that we invited, it wasn't we just gonna mark off a tab, right? It was do y'all got jobs? Do y'all got openings? Right? Because we need to make sure at least so and so many of our people. Like the amount of lives that we touch, I still get messages from the sister. And her Facebook name is different than her name, so that's why it always escaped me. But I'll never forget when Dr. Prince hit me up and said they trying to railroad this young lady, the one with the kids. And she had left her kids. She went to work.
She went to work. I remember.
She went to work. She probably watches. She on Facebook. She on my Facebook page. She tap in all the time and just be like, "Hey, what's up? Just thank you." She went to work, and they tried to throw her up under the bus. And Dr. Prince was like, "Oh no, we can do this.
We can get some parenting classes. We can get some resources. We can get a job. We can get this
mentor, life coach, everything." Man, and I'll never forget that picture we took where we both had our Superman shirts. I had my Superman shirt, she had her Supergirl shirt. And it's like, those are the type of experiences. That wasn't an anomaly though. Like almost all our experience was of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like we was coming in like, every rip, it's a different story. It's a different lift. And I remember sometimes we would leave so heavy and like, well, we'd be in the office to 10, 11 o'clock at night, like
just trying to make things happen. And the saddest part is too the funerals that we also went to. When our young people would try to change and we get murdered on their way to work. They didn't change. They finally got out the system. They didn't. I mean, just I just got chills just even thinking about the amount of young people that we did. They were doing what they were supposed to be doing. And life still just took them away from us. And then the support that we had to continue to give our staff, the social, emotional support that we also had to give our staff and our team members. And then those authentic community connections that we had. But let me bring you back. You said something about your Superman. Let me tell you how you cracked my face, if you remember. Remember how you turned everybody into a superhero? You a superhero. And you was like, Dr. Prince, who is your favorite superhero, right?
Oh, my God. We was training. We was training in front of all these people. You gonna talk about,
Sir, yes,
she
let
gonna
me
say,
bring you back there. Who is the superhero? Who is your favorite superhero, sir? So I'm all excited because I think I'm a superhero. I think I got powers. He done amped me up, and I'm like, my favorite superhero is the Care
Care
Bears,
Bears.
and he was
And then
like,
she gonna say, look, and then she gonna say, she looked at me and I was like, the Care Bears.
he thought I had just embarrassed him. I don't got no more
Everybody in the
street
room,
credibility.
look, everybody in the room was like, she was like, you don't remember the Care Bear stare? I was like, what?
Y'all gotta remember the Care Bears stare. It was on a count of three. Everybody would do all the Care Bears would do the Care Bear stare, and this beam of light would radiate from their stomachs, and it would turn the good, the bad to good, the evil to good. That was the Care Bear stare, and that was
But I
my
end up,
superhero.
but you end up winning. I end up losing them because we went and trained like 3 different places. Like we went to DC, we went to Chicago, we went to all these
Mhm.
places, and they was like, "Yeah, the Care."
But the first time Bruce was like, man, if you don't go with that whack superhero, that Care Bear stuff, then that's whack. Man, you from the Ville, you from the hood, you talking about Care Bear stuff.
The Care Bears. Out of all that we done been through, you talking about the Care
Like,
Bears?
you can't say Wonder Woman, you can't say She-Ra, you got to say Care Bear.
And look, y'all, when I say, look, it got to the point where I think it was like some months ago, and me and Doc hadn't talked for a little bit, and I sent her, I sent her the little video of the Care
Or the
Bear,
Care Bear
and I was
stare.
like, I was like, I get it. I finally get it. 3 years
But
in the game.
But what I like about our relationship and the relationship of our entire team is the fact that we accepted one another for who we were. I ain't trying to be
Man,
like you, Bruce. We were always just like, and I think that is what allowed us to accept our young people for who they are. We didn't try to change them to be like us. We wanted them to walk in their truth and walk in their pathway and forge their own trail and blaze their own trail. And that was what the key was. We never came in judging, saying, oh, you need to be like this, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, everybody comes with their sets of ingredients, and we just want you to make the best recipe that you can with what you have. And I think that that's
absolutely.
one thing.
I
Um,
think, you know what, Doc? That's what made, that's why I gravitated to you because, I mean, quite frankly, I was used to get treated a certain type of way because how I look, how I dress, even with executive director before you. I mean, keeping it funky. So, like with me, when I came in, it was like she like, look, you knew for a fact. The first conversation we had, I was like, look, man, yeah, absolutely, I want to work. I would love to work doing what we do, you know. And he was like, look, you different. Like you not. Even though I tried, like I was like, yeah, I could sit in the office. I can, like, nah. Look, who you fooling? We not finna do that. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what you need to. We got this, and that would for me that helped shape so much because after that, I never accepted operating in a different space. Like people had to accept me when I ran for office. Nah, I ain't gonna. I'm still gonna be
who
Bruce
you
from
are.
4300 Gibson. Like it ain't no,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you took that you didn't try to smooth my rough edges. You know what I'm saying? Like because that's how, like you said, we got stories,
We
and
got
that's how
stories.
you connected to us. That's how
We got
you.
stories. We got battle scars. we have all of that, and we don't try to hide it. Like, we just walk into our truth, and we allow our participants to walk into their truth, and we did that, and I appreciate you and the entire team and the entire community and the extended parts of our teams and communities that really bought into what we needed to do to really intentionally and aggressively help our community. So
Fact.
I think that that's amazing. So I'm so happy to just be being here with you today. It's like bringing back a lot of memories.
Man, look,
It's bringing back. Now I remember. So let me take you back. I remember when I was the executive director, and you texted me, and you was like, we finna protest in front of your building today." I said, "Oh man, what am I doing this?" It was just like a good morning text. We've been protesting in front of your building today. I'm like, oh, if we went downstairs, I'm like, the whole building had to go on lockdown. I said, this goddamn Bruce, you had the people out there, and then I said, really? You like, yeah, like you don't get no pass. We've been protesting in front of your building today. I'm like,
hey,
I'm
I
like,
remember.
really? Do you remember that? That was just
Yeah.
like, no, it wasn't no good morning. And yeah, and we've been protesting in front of your building today. And like 2 minutes later, I was like, you downstairs, the building done went on lockdown.
But look,
Okay.
this how dope y'all was though. Everybody up in the windows.
Yeah. Like, okay. This is what we doing today. Okay. No, remember, I was in DC at the time. And I don't know if you was in St. Louis or if you was in DC at the time, but remember it was the first Trump rally right across the street from the building.
Oh,
And
I
we
was there.
we was texting texting the chief at the time, like, listen, we already know our youth gonna be out there protesting. So make sure don't nobody get locked in the system. Let's get lost in the system. But remember when one of our young people did get lost in the system, the relationship that we had with the chief of police, and he found our young person, and that's when we just really started working with the police as well to say, okay, y'all, this is what we really started. Okay, we're gonna start filing complaints. We're gonna start talking about it. We're gonna start doing, bringing some of these issues to light that our young people truly are having with some of your officers. So I appreciated that too. But I remember, when I was in DC, and I was like, damn, why Trump gotta be here the day that I'm not here? And I know my young people gonna be out there clowning in the
Turn
street.
cleaned up.
I said that, but I liked how, I just liked the relationship that we absolutely had with the community officers, the police officers, and even the chief, just to be able to call him on the phone and say, hey, something ain't right, come check this. And he would immediately jump right on that. And I
Hmm.
appreciated that.
I think for me, like it's been a tough transition for me now. Because I tell people even here, and as I'm here in Arizona, fighting a fight, like I tell them, like that's where I was at. I was really in that space at that time of
Hmm.
this is what we could do.
Hmm.
And some of those, folks and those officers are still close to me. You got your Rosses, you got your Heather Taylors, you
I
got
love Ross. I love Heather
yeah,
Taylor.
always had our back, always
Renee
spoke up.
Christman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And so now it's a different climate for me, but I still hold true to them. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
it's like it's always at first it was a balance. It was like, all right, it's this balance, but now it's like, nah, I know it need to happen. But when I have those who are close, like Ross, like Heather, who get it, right, who
Hmm.
understand me, like Ernie and Joe down in San Antonio, like they get it
Hmm.
wholeheartedly. So it's
Hmm.
never a with us. And I think with our young people, going back to that, like when we youth build, Sergeant Ross,
Hmm.
uh, Heather came in,
Hmm.
and at first they like. By the time they left, they're like, "Oh, they cool as a mother. Oh, they
Uh-huh,
straight from
uh-huh.
because we have folks. We didn't put anybody in front of our young people that we knew was going to lead them a different way or talk to them crazy or do any of those things. Like you couldn't do that with our young folk. We was gonna,
Right.
we was gonna bang.
Right.
Like, nah, I'm here for all that. Like we going down that way. You call me at 1 a.m. I don't care what you tell me what's going on. I ain't gonna never forget my little young. Maurice. I love Maurice, boy. Like I just remember getting that call and I hopped up like
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
get
But
down there like what's going on? Before you know it, him, his auntie, out we good, we boom, boom, boom. And then 3-4 months later, as I watch him walk across the stage,
yeah.
I'm like, oh man, it all makes sense.
hmm
It all makes sense.
hmm
Like this what we
Remember,
do it for.
yeah, remember the first 2 graduates we had from the 24-hour Workforce High School, and we had their graduation in the mayor's office. It was just, it
Yep.
was so beautiful, like having all of those systems, innovation, working with workforce, working with the mayor's office, working with SLPS, working with community, to make something happen like that. Innovation, you can't be afraid to innovate. And I think
hmm
that's crucial. You can't be afraid to innovate. You
You
know,
can't. And that's one thing you were never. There was never an idea. Um, there was never an idea that was too far fetched. It's what's my boy name from Apple?
Steve
What's his
Jobs.
name? Huh?
Steve Jobs.
Steve. Yeah.
Mhm.
It always put me in the mind of us,
Mhm.
especially you. The people crazy enough to think they can change the world usually do,
Mhm.
right? Like, and that's where we always were. We always was like, not one time did we come to each other and say, "Oh no, we can't do that."
Never.
We was like, "How we gonna get it done?"
How we gonna get it done?
We had pop up. We was popping up when you had communities that had shootings or tragic things happen. We
Remember
popping up
Baden?
with resources like, all right, we understand what's going on. We here with y'all all the way. What
But
else going on to aid to what's happening right now? Who need jobs? Who need education? Who
mhm.
needs job programming? Who needs something right now? Who like it was always a like they didn't. It's so it kind of pisses me off, but I'll calm down a little bit. But like just to know, like don't we had all it we had the cure.
Remember the first police shooting in, I don't want to say the first police shooting, but the first police shooting after Michael Brown occurred in Ferguson. It was a police shooting that occurred in Baden. And it was,
Cause
and
you
at
ain't
the
power.
time, yep. And at the time, it was Chris Carter Jr. was the alderman over there. And the first thing they said is, these people need resources. I said, okay, no problem. I called the whole team. I remember Freddie. I called the whole team, and we like, okay, who got, we got chairs, we got sign up, we got this, we got that. The whole team coming down in this, you know, in this highly volatile, highly emotional atmosphere, and we are going to be one with the people, and we are going to still give out resources. You can't be scared of the community that you help, that you want to help. You can't be scared of that community, so we were
And
there.
even when facts, and even when I got elected, right?
Yeah,
And in 2017, and shouts out to Expect Us. They're still doing
yes,
their thing out there.
they are. I love
Um,
Expect Us.
yeah, when we started that in 2017, like people didn't even understand what we was about to do,
Hmm.
and we made a change. And
Hmm.
one thing we did different though is that I'll never forget that Sunday. I said, Dr. Prince, um, we're gonna do a different type of protest. We're gonna go over here on the north side. We met at Woles.
Hmm. Hmm.
Say we're gonna go and deliver resources.
You did.
We're gonna pass out. You had Slate. We had Urban League. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? We had a couple other folks. They came with their
knocking on
truck. We had
doors.
packets, and we knocked on. And we ain't follow no ban list or no voter access. We knocked on air. We was in the hood. We was on Natural Bridge and Kings Highway, Natural Bridge and Union, Dr. Martin Luther King, like
Yep.
Kings High. That's where we was at.
Hmm.
And not one person. felt this our hood. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
that's us.
this is how we protest uh
Mm-hmm.
inter-community violence, right? This is how we protest the gun violence in our community because we know people ain't just out here shooting folks because they want to shoot folks. People out here feeling the need to survive in a way, and whether no matter how we look at it, that's just what that cycle of poverty that we've been forced into, and we decided to take it a different way.
Let me tell you this. Remember what we used to do on Saturday mornings? We used to be in the projects. Like let's be real.
Oh
Let's be all
yeah,
the way
I still got
real.
the pictures. I
On
still got the
Saturday
pictures.
morning, and we used to knock on the door. We don't care who live in this house, but anybody who living on this in this house, whether they sleeping on a couch or whatever, who don't have a diploma, who need a job, who I don't care if you got 15 people living in this 2 bedroom house. I'm gonna help everybody in this house. So let me knock on this door and give resources. And we did that every Saturday morning. Every Saturday
Every
morning
Saturday morning in the Cochrane, in the Peabody,
in the Peabody's in O'Fallon Place, what
in
they call it,
O'Fallon places,
Preservation Square
Preservation
now.
Square, Car
It's
Square. We was
Car
there.
Square.
We
Knocking
was
on
there.
this. Listen, we here to see. Do you have a diploma? Okay, your friend don't have one. Okay, he need to sign up for this program. You don't have no job? Okay, we need to sign up. So we was knocking on doors. Yeah, every
And I'm
Saturday.
look, and remember, that's when I was living across the street. I was
Yeah,
like, hold on, I'm state rep and everything, man. Let me get over here, running across the street. Like I ain't even finna drive. I'm finna walk over here, and we
yeah,
hitting doors, door hangers, slate door hangers. They ain't
yeah,
at home, bet we leave it here, and they got all the information you need. And we knocked more doors than these politicians.
yeah. We had slate door hangers. Door hangers. Where they do that at? Door hangers.
Look what Ross said.
We sure did show up on the homicide scene with
Come
Ross.
on,
I
man.
love Ross.
Ross, the truth. Ross be banging for us. I ain't gonna need to tell you. We gonna have to do another one where we go like where we turn up a little bit. But we gonna have to. But Ross is like Ross always bang for us because Ross is my first community officer with 28 to life. Like I remember going to Captain Warnicky, who's Lieutenant Colonel now, and I remember going to her and saying, "Look," she was like, "So what are we gonna do about this?" I said, "I need Ross, and that's it." I said I need Ross. I need y'all to tell me where the crime is happening. I don't need y'all following me. I don't need nothing else. I just need y'all to let me know where the crime is happening. Give me Ross and I'll figure everything else out. Me and
Mm-hmm.
Ross popping up on it. And
Mm-hmm.
at first, a couple times they looking at Ross like, hold on. And then they get comfortable to the point where they're like, I bet. And
Mm-hmm.
it's always a tale because I remember when the hurricanes happened in South Carolina, and
Mm-hmm.
all those young people, all our young people that we start sending a slate I took 6 young men.
Mm-hmm.
We collect water, we collected this food, we collected all
I
these
remember
different
that.
things, and we drove from St. Louis to Columbia, South Carolina,
I
and
remember
delivered
that.
everything in that U-Haul truck. And we ain't go to none of these organizations or FEMA. We went straight to the hood. We went straight to Georgetown. We went in the hood, hopped out in the middle of the projects. It was
Mm-hmm.
about 9 o'clock at night,
I remember that.
street lights out. We flipped the top up and they came outside. Was like, what's going on? We're like, look, this for y'all. We from St. Louis. We saw what was going on. And they came out. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. And like when you talk about just these things, man, it's like we show how much power we had to change the narrative in our community with less resources. Because what people didn't know, Doc, is that because of the structure and how it was structured,
Mm-hmm.
when you talked about Slate, you took a lot of things and made it happen
Put it together. Yeah.
with less to no funding sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we ain't had a funding for the food on the Saturday morning job first, so we had loaves of bread, peanut butter, and jelly.
We came up with peanut butter because we had remember the job club. Remember the
Job
job club.
club.
And we
You
like,
come up,
okay,
you
who gonna bring the peanut butter and jelly and a loaf of bread so that we can feed
uh-huh,
our young people? Because
real
we
talk.
don't have it. So we had salami, bologna, cheese,
Man,
peanut butter, and jelly. That's what we had because we knew that we needed to have a Saturday morning job club. And that's what we had. And our young people showed up for it. Let me tell you this.
They
Do you
look forward to it.
They did. Remember when the I think it was the River de Pere when they had the flooding and our young people, our youth bill students went down there and helped doing sandbagging. We always made it a point that although it was a workforce and education program, we provided a holistic way that people could give back and reinvest in their community. So that's why that community element was so important. We also did not hide the fact that we know we're dealing with mental illness. We know that mental illness runs rapid. So we also try to remember how we worked with BHR for mental health and mental
Fact.
health counseling. And anytime young people, we had suicide attempts. Remember the suicide attempts that we had with young people?
Remember Adam?
Yes, yes. Yes. So we weren't realistic to think that we had this one size fit all model, or we tried to triage some things. Like, we truly were changing the trajectory of people's lives. Remember the 100 students we graduated, nursing students we graduated,
Facts.
where we had nursing classes all throughout the day and night so that people could become nurses or certified nursing assistants. And now look at the economy. Need them now. Need them. So yeah, it was we had some good times. We worked hard, but we still have a lot of work to do. Just because we are no longer doing it in the spaces that we were once doing them in, it doesn't mean that we don't continue to forge on and do the work. Because I know I'm still doing the work.
I know you. So,
and I know you still doing the work.
And we that's one thing I can say. We are both doing the work. So let the people know what you're doing right now, Doc. What you got going on now?
Well, I think the biggest program that I have right now is where I'm just trying to create and create entrepreneurship. I think that economic freedom is so important. So if anybody's out there now and they're an aspiring entrepreneur or an early stage entrepreneur and they want to learn how to do business with the Department of Energy, and when I say that, having access to billions, not millions, having access to billions, not millions, and really wanting to work on getting their certifications like their MBEs and DBEs, I want to help you with that. So I actually have a class coming up next Thursday. So just log on to www.pathwaysunited.com. .org. www.pathwaysunited.org. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm doing, because I believe economic freedom is important. And I think now it's time people say we need a seat at the table. And I say we need not just a seat at the table, but we need to be able to determine if we want to just supply the materials to build the table. We need to determine if we, where we want the table to be. And maybe we want to build the house that the table in. We don't necessarily, we should be able to take the position that where we want to be at. And so with that, we need access. And I want to just open access opportunity points up for our people in our community. So that's what I'm doing. What you doing, brother?
Every damn thing.
I see. I'm following you on Twitter. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, of course, I had to get back to the streets because they tripping out here in Phoenix. They came for me and didn't know what they was doing.
Oh my God!
Now we gonna have fun.
Oh God! So, it's fun to you. It's not to them, brother. I can tell you.
Yeah, nah. And at the end of the day, it's not gonna be, because one thing is like, I care about, I've learned to self-care. I learned to take care of myself.
That's good.
But I still care about my people unapologetically,
Mm-hmm.
And, the way that they treating, these young brothers and sisters down here who I've come to love, right? Who I've come to connect with, who are family, who are my little brothers, little sisters, who I mentor, in a certain aspect. We got a campaign right now for Free Percy, where people can go to.
Yeah, can you tell us about that? I saw that.
Yeah, Percy, he got politically prosecuted. Like he reminded me so much of me in 2014, like the anger, the aggression, the everything. But he was able to he's able to redirect it in a different way, right? Where it don't come out as that, it come out as passion, and he able to captivate, and I just naturally connected with him, and other brothers too, but speaking specifically about Percy, and he was out there just speaking up, he was just speaking up for what's right, and the police not only targeted him, this is I think this is third time being arrested, felonies, all these different things. When he did absolutely nothing, and so we've been pushing this campaign with, Free Percy and all these different things. And, that's just what we're running into. But like the difference of now in St. Louis is like, St. Louis never saw me at 100%.
Right. Oh my
At
God.
100%.
Right.
Like, I'm healthy physically. I'm healthy mentally. Life is good.
Mm-hmm.
They in trouble.
Oh my
You know what I'm
God.
saying? Like,
Yes, I'm scared for them.
and so like, you remember those long days and moping around, and I got to go so hard that I got to take a day off, 2 days off, go get
Go get an
hydrated in the
orange. Remember
hospital.
we used to have to get an orange just to keep going because we would work from sun up to sundown.
Facts. Shouts out to Mel Ryan. Look, you're doing something right when Mel Ryan Kelly hop on. Chief, that's the chief from Columbia, South Carolina, who
Oh, you love
always
him.
showed love, man, and always been unapologetic. We appreciate you, bro.
Yes. I don't know you, but I know of you through Bruce, and he absolutely loves you and has the utmost respect for you.
That's my
So
brother.
please keep doing what you're doing. Please keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing.
You talking about somebody that's unapologetic, man, it's a whole different, but at the end of the day, man, we did that. We did it. We're gonna have to do a part two. We're gonna have to do a part two.
But listen, can you put that link on your Twitter so because I want to donate to Percy.
Mhm.
And then just anything else I get paid on Friday. Let me keep it all the way real. So tomorrow is my
Turn up.
payday. I'll be we
No,
got to just
straight,
keep it real. Tomorrow's
no,
my
straight up.
payday, and then so I'm gonna be able to donate.
Uh-huh. I got you, and I'm gonna make sure I'm make sure I'm sharing out. I'll be definitely tapping into you a lot more on social media, and appreciate what you're doing with
And
Pathways and everything
thank
you got
you,
going straight
thank
up.
you.
So I'll make sure
And
I share
I'm
that
only
out.
on Twitter.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need right now. I hold
Okay,
you down on the book. We all good. We all
I'm not
good.
on Facebook. But
Well,
thank you, brother, for
look, no,
having me.
huh?
Thank you, brother, for having me.
You already know, man. Like at the end of the day, y'all know, could nobody else get Dr. Prince out here? Y'all
Right,
know what it
nobody,
is.
because I've been
Could
ghost.
nobody
I've been
pull,
done.
could
He
nobody
can't
pull
even get
Dr.
me on the
out here?
phone.
Real talk. So man, y'all know we got to give her flowers. Make sure she know how much we appreciate, and I'm a ride. If ain't nobody gonna ride, I'm a ride. And so whatever you got going, keep us updated. We're gonna make sure we uplifted. I'm proud of you. I love
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank
say
you.
hello to the kids. I'm proud of them, everybody.
I
And
will.
just send all my love, and I'm gonna check in on you. I'm gonna hit you up a little later, but we all
Okay.
gonna check on you as a whole.
Okay. Well, thank you. Share that link for Percy so we can donate.
Okay, I'll make sure I do it on my Twitter and my Facebook.
All right. Bye, brother.
All right, see you later.
Okay. Bye bye.